He shed his thug exterior and took on a mantle of respectability, along with the new name of Pat Marcy. Most weekdays he sat in a restaurant across the street from City Hall, ensconced at a corner table with a private phone. Dressed in three-piece suits, smoking fine cigars, he looked like his fellow diners from the local banks, government offices, and law firms. His official title was Secretary for the Democratic Committee of Chicago's First Ward. To an outsider, his domain may have sounded like some quaint throwback, but for Chicagoans, the First Ward was a city unto itself, a political precinct carved out at the turn of the century like the richest vein in a gold mine. It extended from the slums and factories south of the city, through the central business district, up to the very wealthiest neighborhoods of the Gold Coast. And to see the company Pat Marcy kept at lunch, you'd think he was the mayor. Aldermen, state legislators, judges, congressmen, city officials, police chiefs, and union leaders, all regularly shared meals or dropped by to show the deference reserved for a man of great influence. In that same restaurant, Marcy had other less public meetings away from the spotlight of the First Ward table. Thursdays, he would spend a few minutes in a booth with one or the other of the outfit's most notorious team of hitmen. Out in the adjoining lobby, his office workers rushed past, and where no FBI bug could eavesdrop, he barked at lawyers and politicians, demanding that cases get fixed or kickbacks get paid. In bathrooms and unmarked offices elsewhere in the building, he conferred with the elderly bosses at the top of the outfit. During the 70s and 80s, some of them would shuffle off to prison with the advent of new racketeering laws and federal investigations, but Marcy remained untouchable, along with his coterie of politicians, judges, and lawyers who became known as the Inner Circle of the First Ward. Although the FBI tried to penetrate the First Ward with mob informants and wiretaps, Marcy was too careful to be caught and too valuable for the bosses to give up. Besides, his political connections extended through both parties and ran from Chicago to Washington, D.C. This clout made him radioactive to the ever-changing cast of U.S. attorneys who rotated through the Northern Illinois office. It was one thing to target a small-time magistrate or alderman for taking a bribe. It was quite another thing to go after Marcy and charge that a mafia figure was calling the shots at City Hall and the county courthouses. It sounded too outrageous to be true. A slap, not only at the politicians and judges, but an insult to Chicago's business and media leaders, who even before Capone labored to put the best face above the city's big shoulders. To crack Marcy and mob rule in Chicago, the feds needed a lucky break. It arrived on a Saturday afternoon in 1986, when criminal lawyer Bob Cooley popped into the local office of the Organized Crime Strike Force. By chance, the chief attorney happened to be in, catching up on paperwork. When he asked what Cooley wanted, he replied, "I'd like to help you destroy the First Ward. I'd like to help you destroy Pat Marcy." Cooley was the last person that Pat Marcy or the mob bosses would have expected to turn on them. Outside of the Mafia, few others had profited so flamboyantly from the corruption. For 4 years, Cooley personally handled most First Ward criminal cases involving outfit soldiers and associates, and it helped make him rich. He took payment from his clients only in cash, and at times didn't know what to do with it all. He might bet hundreds of thousands with bookmakers, buy a health club, or put up the money to start an Italian restaurant. Although he had a natural flair for the courtroom and won many cases legitimately, he let his clients know he would do whatever it took to get a favorable verdict. He solidified his reputation as the ultimate fixer when he paid off a law and order judge to get an acquittal on a murder charge for Harry Ellman, a hitman dubbed the outfit's killing machine. Unlike the other mob lawyers, Cooley's relationship with his clients went well beyond the courtroom. He was the life of their parties, hanging out with the young bucks at the hottest bars and nightclubs, dining at swankier spots with the older bosses. He bet with the mob's bookies, traded girlfriends with the crew leaders, and on some occasions got in fistfights with them. A big part of his outlaw charm was that Cooley never appeared to take anyone or anything too seriously. He parked his luxury sedan in the bus stop outside court or, on occasion, in the mayor's spot outside City Hall. He wore a gold chain and open-neck shirt in court when everyone else wore ties. He brought his dog into fine restaurants and office buildings. But however affable Cooley looked to the outfit from the outside, he was boiling inside, deeply conflicted.